Yes, Barbara?
Is that you, Alan?
It is, Barbara.
Just hang on a second.
What do you want me to hang on to?
I'm putting the cat out. Hang on.
I love this. This is so Australian.
Hello, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Watch. And that colourful call to 2GB's Alan Jones breakfast show last Thursday, following the Whitlam Memorial, has won the radio station's prize for Talkback Caller of the Year. So popular has it been that it's already been animated by Fairfax Media, as you will see, and we have to agree it was a belter.
Alan, darling.
Yes.
I'm terribly upset about what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
With those mongrel left-wing scumbags at that funeral. Did you see those idiots?
Yeah, I did.
Booing our Prime Minister.
Yep.
And John Howard and his wife as they went into the hall.
I did.
With Alan Jones's callers, it can be hard to spot a prankster, because many are already so close to parody. And Alan certainly had no doubts that Barb was the real deal. Having chimed in with his own diatribe against the left, he cheered enthusiastically as Barbara told him what should be done with them all.
You are brilliant.
Drop a bomb, that's what I'd say. What a perfect place to drop a bomb. Hang on a second. Put that down. Put that down. What a disgrace. Sorry, she's picked up me. Hang on, put that down.
This is the cat you're talking to.
The hilarity just did not stop. And even when Barbara started slagging off some of Australia's leading politicians, Jones still failed to spot she might be pulling his leg.
Look at that horrible Christine Milne. My goodness. We get Bob Brown, then we've got Christine Milne. And that fella, who's the little fat fella, the Palmer man. He's okay. I don't mind him, but I think he needs to go on a diet. Jenny Craig could help that man, I think. Perhaps.
By the end of the call, Jones was telling Barbara to stay on the line so he could sign her up as his new social commentator. But speculation was already mounting that he had been had.
This Barbara must, surely to God, be taking the piss.
This is brilliant satire. Barbara and her recidivist cat take Alan Jones for a ride.
So, if Barbara was not Barbara, who could she have been? Dame Edna Everage and friend Barry Humphries were one early suggestion, but they surely have better things to do. Ethel Chop, Australia's favourite octogenarian, was another, but she was quick to scotch that suggestion.
I firmly deny calling that drongo Alan Jones on the wireless yesterday, she said.
But then all became clear as the Sydney Morning Herald cracked the mystery.
Barbara, Alan Jones's talkback caller, revealed.
After 24 hours of intense media scrutiny, Fairfax Media received a tip-off that Barbara was in fact managed by Ignatius Corboy, a 22-year-old actor who works for his family's stock feed business in Wangaratta.
Young Ignatius confirmed to Media Watch on the phone that he and the 86-year-old are, well, joined at the hip. And then he was kind enough to put Barbara on the line for us.
Paul Barry from the ABC.
That's right.
I can just see your little smile coming down the end of the line now.
Very good to talk to you, Barbara. Just curious to know how you've coped with the reaction to this call of yours.
Oh, I'm a star, darling. You should have seen the reaction at bingo the other night. It was ridiculous. Now I'm a star. Everybody brings me things. Here's your cup of tea, Barbara. There's your biscuit, Barbara. And then the old bag who was never really nice to me is now my best friend.
Well, we wish you success in the future, and we hope to hear from you again.
And you keep that lovely smile up. I'm a great admirer of yours.
So, was Alan Jones a party to this prank? Well, no. His producer told Media Watch they did not set it up, do not screen callers, and had no idea who Barbara really was. But now to breaking news and what can happen when you are in the middle of it. As we're about to see, if you're in the right spot at the right time and you have a smartphone, the world's media wants you. Last month in Melbourne, John Kovacs saw a light plane crash land into a laneway, killing the pilot. And he immediately tweeted,
I think I've just seen a plane crash in Chelsea.
Proving he was on the spot, Kovac then sent out a picture he'd taken of the burning wreckage.
Chelsea plane crash 5 minutes ago.
His image was snapped up by a large number of media outlets, including the Herald Sun, The Age, The Guardian, The Daily Mail and more. most of whom checked with Kovac, as they should, to get his permission.
Hey, can we use your photo of the plane crash at Chelsea for ABC News Online?
Hi John, great pic. Can we please use it on news.com.au?
Before long, Kovac had been contacted by 10 different journalists from 8 different news outlets, and he was only too happy to help.
I thought to myself, this is what Twitter's for, instant information. I gave everybody permission to use them, said anyone can use the photos.
But soon others were onto him to tell him he was missing his chance.
A sad time for those involved. Your media is being used for free. Download the Newsbid app and earn cash for your pics.
This was soon followed by another on similar lines.
If you have content of plane crash, we'd love to get it out there too, and get some cash for you.
And shortly after came a third. But Newsbid wasn't the only one to see an opportunity. 2 other agencies, News Zulu and Storyful, also made offers to witnesses of the crash. So who are these outfits and what do they do? Well, they collect photos and video from the public and sell them to the media, making a buck along the way. Now, some may think it's a bit tacky to profit from tragedy, as with this man poised to jump off a building in New York's Times Square last month, where witnesses received tweets like this.
Next time, upload your photos or video to Newsbid and get paid cash for your efforts.
But Newsbid's founder Mark Orval sees nothing amiss.
Journalists and photographers cannot be on every corner every day. Yet, with over 1.6 billion smartphone users globally, there is always someone on the spot. Why shouldn't the person who happens to be in the right place at the right time be rewarded for their efforts?
But don't get too excited. In most cases, it's not going to make you rich in a hurry. As Orval told news website Mumbrella,
as a rough guide, photographs and stories may cost around $20, more for videos.
On the other hand, that is $20 per sale, and if the content's exclusive and in demand, you could make far more. If you'd been skiing in the French Alps on 29th of December last year and had your phone with you, you might have captured this moment. And thanks to New Zulu, you would have made a packet, as it boasted in this media release.
Over the recent New Year period, New Zulu sold a 16-second iPhone video of a helicopter evacuating Michael Schumacher after his skiing accident, which sold in excess of €50,000 within hours.
And let's not forget our own homegrown hits. Remember that bit of billionaire biffo in Bondi this year? Those pics of James Packer and his best mate David Gingell are reported to have fetched $250,000, although they were snapped by a professional. And it seems crowdsourcing of the news is becoming big business. New Zulu works in partnership with Agence France Presse, Britain's Press Association, and Australian Associated Press, or AAP, which is jointly owned by Fairfax, News Corp and West Australian newspapers. And the other big player, Storyful, is 100% owned by News Corp, who snapped it up last year for a bargain, $25 million. And finally tonight, having started with a hoax, let's end with another, this time from Melbourne. Back in August, we exposed 3AW Drive Time host Tom Elliott and his world-exclusive interview with the supposed Islamic State commander, Omar al-Shishani.
Which beheadings, which crucifixions you talk about, my friend?
I don't know. I've just seen pictures and I'm asking you about it.
As the fake sheikh admitted to Media Watch, he was really a Kurd living in Scandinavia who had taken Melbourne's finest for a ride to teach him a lesson.
Yes, my little brother, it was me.
And are you the real Omar al-Shishani?
No, of course not.
But last week, believe it or not, Big Tom found himself being hoaxed yet again.
Spoke to someone who said on air and off air that he was rapper 360. Turns out he wasn't. We shut the interview down immediately.
So how did Elliott get stiffed for a second time in just 3 months? Well, 3 weeks ago, Melbourne rapper 360, aka Matt Colwell, appeared on Q&A and made some inflammatory comments about the Australian flag.
There's so many racist bigots in this country and they're everywhere. And it's like, I don't know about, I was talking to someone earlier about this, but the Australian flag to me has now become, I identify that with racism.
Tom Elliott disagreed strongly and made it clear in a column in the Herald Sun. He then invited 360 to slug it out on 3AW. And that's when Brad Kane, who's another Melbourne rapper, BK Ultra, saw his chance. Kane told Media Watch,
He posted a tweet from 3AW saying they wanted to get him on the program. He said he wasn't going to do it, so I thought I would. I got someone, a friend, to ring up their number and pretend they were 360's manager. She gave them my mobile number and that was it. It was that easy.
Meanwhile, the real 360 got word and was listening at home, filming himself for his Facebook friends and smirking as the interview unfolded.
Okay, 3 weeks ago on Q&A on the ABC Monday nights, Matt Caldwell, aka Rapper 360, had this to say.
The first few minutes of the interview were pretty straight, but it wasn't too long before it veered off the rails.
Sorry, what?
That's a simple question.
What? So I missed it. What was that about the Illuminati?
See, that's the thing. When I bring up a serious issue
I didn't hear what you said.
You didn't hear it.
I didn't say it again. I missed it.
I'm trying to explain why I was inducted into the Illuminati, because I am enlightened.
That's one of those sort of weird cults, isn't it?
It's not a weird cult at all. We are the enlightened beings.
Seconds later, it got even weirder, as Fake 360 claimed he was a unicorn. Poor Tom struggled bravely to get it back on track, but there was no way of avoiding the impending crash as the fake sheikh was brought into the picture.
Didn't you interview an ISIS fighter that turned out not to be an ISIS fighter?
Yeah, we did, and we made a mistake with that, and we acknowledged that. But I'm just saying, are you sure that you're Matt Caldwell here?
By this time, Elliot was beginning to twig, but sadly, it was much too late.
So you're not 360?
Of course I'm 360, but I'm asking you in the general sense. How much research do you do? Or do you just go, oh, that's going to sell. That sounds like a headline. I'm going to grab that.
Matt, that's a ridiculous thing. We do as much as we can, but I can tell you, if you're trying to get someone via Twitter online from the Middle East, you take a risk because there is no way. There is no way of checking. No way in the world.
What about someone who lives in Brighton, in Melbourne?
Well, that you probably could do.
But, of course, they had not. They'd taken him on trust, and now the damage was done.
We asked you, are you telling the truth or are you telling a lie? You are Matt Caldwell, you're a fool, and if you're not, you're just a liar, and I'm sorry, that's an idiotic and stupid thing to do.
Well, it made Elliot and 3AW look stupid, that's for sure. Having already made an ass of themselves with the fake Islamic State commander, you would think they would have been more careful. But the only check they made before putting Fake 360 live to air was this.
The interviewee was asked on at least 4 occasions, off-air and on-air, whether he was Matt Caldwell, aka 360. On each occasion, he said that he was.
3AW could have checked with 360's manager to confirm it was him. Better still, they could have pre-recorded the interview and avoided embarrassment. And if they don't want to become a laughingstock, then maybe next time they will. Belatedly, they seem to have realised they have a problem.
We acknowledge both recent issues and we have examined our procedures and processes to address this. However, we remain an open environment, which welcomes input from listeners and the general public, and we are proud of this.
And you can read more about all tonight's stories on our website, where you can also get a transcript and download the programme. You can also catch up with us on iView and contact me or MediaWatch on Twitter. But until next week, that's all from us. Goodbye.